Thank you. Thank you. It is so good to be with you this morning. And hopefully everyone is taking comfort and is safe and sound. Well, this morning I get an opportunity to wrap up this series on peace. The peace that has been explored has been inner peace, it's been peace with others, peace in the community, and world peace. And today what we're going to do is we're going to put it all together and we ask ourselves this question: what is mine to do? What is mine to do to have a grand rising and to reveal peace on earth right now? You know, it's like Karen Drucker's song, we are the ones that we've been waiting for and not anyone else. Ernest Holmes reminds us that when we consciously choose peace, peace will manifest in our personal lives and in our world. Now, one of our Science of Mind principles in our Declaration of Principles, it says that we believe that the ultimate goal of life to be complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be obtained by all. Now, sometimes people look at this principle and think, oh, it's about freedom. But I'm calling on this principle today as the ultimate freedom from all discord as a space of peace. And as we know, Science of Mind takes its teachings, its learnings from all of the different major world religions. We take that kernel of truth and we infuse it into our daily lives and our understanding of how the world works. And each and every major religion has a space for peace. I just want to share a little bit about several of the major religions. So Christianity says that its major focus is peace on earth. It's the central message of Christianity. And it was delivered by the shepherd. It was delivered to the shepherds by the angels when Jesus was born. And the Christian church views peace as the legacy of Jesus and as the result of divine love and order. The result of divine love and order. But Hinduism is not necessarily peace, but is very closely related. It's nonviolence, or anishma. It's a key teaching in Hinduism, and it's mentioned in many scriptures. Himshma is like hitting and violence, and Ahimsa is like non-violence. So it's to protect everything and everyone against any sort of aspect of violence or any type of thing that would be a violent action. Plants, animals, people, everything. It's the whole life should be approached in a way that it is not violent to anyone or anything. And Judaism, the Hebrew word is shalom, which is well-being or prosperity. In Judaism, peace is associated with prosperity for all, fertility of crops, harmony, and well-being. And Buddhism helps us in understanding that meditation can help people go from self-centeredness and live peacefully to generosity and live with others. And finally, Islam also states that some people say if Christianity is love thy neighbor, then Islam's teaching is to seek peace and peace everywhere. It's not just to love thy neighbor, but to offer that peace everywhere. Peace is a central tenet of the Islamic religion. So peace is there. It's that thread. It's a thread just like love, one peace throughout all the major world religions. But just to remind you, really, if you want to have peace, then peace within yourself, within your consciousness. When you get that peace within your consciousness, it's that peace that radiates outwards. I mean, have you ever been around someone and you can sense that space of calm, that place of stillness. I think subconsciously it must have come to me because I'm wearing sort of this orange, and when I think of peace, and when I think of that stillness, and when I think of that sort of deep reservoir of someone walking into the room and changing the whole atmosphere of the room with one of peace, calm, and stillness, I think of the many Buddhist nuns and that I have met, or the many Buddhist practitioners and priests that I have met, and those who study deep meditation. You can feel that sense of peace inward radiating out. So peace in the world and world peace it's a grand idea. It's a huge vision. But it's one that we can cultivate that peace in ourselves and in our immediate surroundings. Peace in relationships and in the way we move in the world is a practice. Peace is not just a principle, but peace can also be a practicing peace, walking in the world in peace. So like when the flood waters are rising, when we're stuck in traffic, or when someone does something wrong or annoying to you when you're on your job, or in your volunteer duty, instead of your first word being a judgment or a harsh thought or word, perhaps it's a breath. And this is practicing peace, practicing compassion within ourselves and for others. Now, I can't say that I do this automatically if I'm in any of those situations, but it is a practice. And as we come in closer into that feeling, that connection with God, with breath, with the universe, with our oneness, we can move from that space of annoyance to a space of peace and begin to move into that field. I know that we can make a difference and that peace can happen. And peace is a vision. Peace is a vision that each and every one of us can hold. And it's hard to believe that when sometimes you open up the Sunday paper. In the past, I would get a big, thick New York Times and go to have a brunch. And this was before I was going to CSL or any church regularly. Sort of my church was sort of going out, getting brunch, getting the New York Times, opening up, looking at it. And wow, the first thing you see when you open the pages is war and conflict and discord. But there is indeed, we can indeed hold a vision for absolute peace. And the way we can hold that vision for peace is multiple ways. But I love this. This isn't something that's absolutely new. This is something that has been going on for a while. There's been conflict, there's been war, and there's been other types of things out there in the world. So this idea of world peace, this idea of becoming a peacemaker, this idea of walking in peace, I love it. There was a conversation between William Hornaday, who's one of the first deans of the school for Ernest Holmes, when he started his school to teach practitioners and ministers. And William Hornaday was one of those people that were working there. And there was a conversation recorded between William Hornaday and Ernest Holmes. And they were really turning over this idea of, how can we think about this big grand thing of world peace? And Hornaday says to Holmes, he says, how can you and I be at peace as long as other people on earth are obliged to live in horror? A child is murdered, dictators impose slavery on societies. How can we know comfort when other people's lives or tragic. And Ernest Holmes said to him, he says, there's evidence that humanity is evolving. And I look to the day when we overcome our experiences and raise triumph over our present limitations. There are mysteries, but we know there's also the law. And in order to abide here, we must have very positive acceptance of the ultimate goodness of life, towards which goodness is where I believe we are traveling. We all have a choice in this life, but the universal intelligence must be the essence of goodness and beauty and truth. So even though we think that there's this idea of the world moving in spaces that can't be ones that are calm or peaceful, that there is peace, and we must hold that vision of peace. Now, in Science of Mind, what I really like is that I like the fact that there are in mental equivalents that we can hold as we think about not only our peace in our personal surroundings, but really peace out there in the world. There are people who have that consciousness, just like when they walk in the room and the room comes to peace and stillness. There are people that can have that consciousness that help all of us rise up and to have that consciousness of world peace. So I want to just talk a little bit about one love and one peace. I have never really thought of Bob Marley as a peace ambassador, but I was on a long trip back. I was on a plane ride back from a long trip, and I saw this movie, One Love. And yeah, I think I know a few things about a few things, but I didn't know hardly anything about what was going on in Jamaica in 1978. In Jamaica in 1978, there was killings, there was fracture. The country was going through brutal bloodshed. Two political parties were at one another. And Bob Marley, having world-renowned success with a message of love and one peace, spreading the Rastafari religion, which, if you have a chance, look into it. The basic principles are amazing and in alignment, actually. But Bob Marley said that he wanted to bring the country together. So he came back from a European trip, and he held many peace concerts, I understand, during this time. But the most famous peace concert was in Kingston, Jamaica in 1978. And Michael Manley and Edward Siega, two political rivals, at that concert were photographed holding hands. And he was singing, one love, one peace, let's get together and be all right. And it was this consciousness of peace, it's this consciousness of love that was overriding. People told Bob Marley, don't do this concert. Don't even think about it. People will kill each other. They'll come together and they'll kill each other there, but they didn't. Love overcame fear. Love overcame hate. Love overcame it all. And there was one love and one peace. I don't know if you know this or not, but I just want to share that Bob Marley got a medal from the United Nations in 1978 as a peace, for promoting peace and justice. And actually, that was the entire one of the entire messages of his life, of his whole 36 years of life. And so on one end, you've got Bob Marley bringing a country together, bringing bringing folks together in peace, bringing this consciousness of peace out in the world. And as we sing his songs and as we think about, one love, as we think about coming together as one, we raise that consciousness of peace in the world. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a former president, and that's President Jimmy Carter, who will be 100 years old on October 1st. And he is known mostly for his ability to raise that consciousness of peace. He did so much as a president, again, bringing fractions of the world together that people thought could not sit down together, but bringing them together, holding that vision of what could possibly happen in the world, that we could actually work together, that we are actually one, and that we can move together into this space of love and peace for everyone. Well, Jimmy Carter, one quote from Jimmy Carter in his thinking about peace is that God gives us the capacity for choice, that we can choose to alleviate suffering. We can choose to work together for peace, and we can make these changes, and we must. We can choose to make these changes, and we must. It's that consciousness that raises us up, the consciousness of Jimmy Carter, the consciousness of Bob Marley, the consciousness of Mahatma Gandhi, Desmond Tutu, Thich Nhat Hanh, Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama. There are so many peaceful activists, people who are working towards peace. So when we think that we are alone, there are so many others that are working for it. People that we know and the people that we don't know. And they're of all different ages and races. And I think so what I'm trying to do is say, if you're thinking about peace, if you're thinking about how can I bring this consciousness of peace into my world, into my immediate world, into my community, into my city, into my state, into my country, there's so many examples of people whose names we know and people whose names we don't know. They're from every ethnicity and race. They're from Europe, Africa, South America, Australia. They are women, they're men, they're straight, they're LGBTQ, they are pacifists, peace activists, and anti-war activists. There are people like Jody Williams, who's an American, who's an anti-landmine advocate and a Nobel Peace Laureate. And it's throughout all time. There's a Frenchman named Émile Armand, who died in 1921, who actually coined the frame pacifism. And there's Takahashi Akiba, a Japanese pacifist and nuclear disarmament advocate, who is the former mayor of Hiroshima. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King says the difference between what we do and what we're capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. That we have the ability and the capacity to bring about peace, harmony, joy on this earth, right here and right now. And we can do that in so many different ways. When I think about peace and what we do and what we do well here at the Centers for Spiritual Living, is I think about meditation and prayer. And mostly I think about this meditation and prayer for world peace. Because when it's been proven, studies have proven that when we pray and when we come together, that this united consciousness actually can raise the field of awareness and actually impact. So there was a study done around Washington, D.C., and there were folks that prayed together, multiple groups that prayed together over a certain period of time. They measured the incidence of violence before those prayers and the incidence of violence after that field of prayer was put over that particular metropolitan city. And during those times of prayer and meditation and focused attention by a group of people, they've studied and found that the violence did indeed go down, that the rates of violence went down. So I remember a quote that Ernest Holmes says, if we could just get like 1/10 of the people just focused on peace, focused on joy, focused on love at the same time, that we can raise the vibration of this earth and move us into, as Eckhart Tolle would say, like a new earth. So what we do here at CSL is that we have the World Meditation, the World Meditation for Peace. And it happens on December 31st at 12 noon Greenwich time, which is about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and about 4 a.m. in the West where I am. But every year we join this World Meditation for Peace at this particular time, knowing that there are others who are out there who are meditating on world peace, on love, on joy, and that we are trying to raise that vibration of the earth by joining together and just meditating and praying for everyone, for all people. CSL also has a Global Heart Peace Ministry meditation. It happens every Monday, Facebook at 1 o'clock, where you can tune in and you can raise that consciousness of peace and harmony with other people. You know, there's probably peacemakers, there's movers and shakers in your community. It might even be you. But it takes courage to stand for peace, to be a peacekeeper. And you may find what is yours to do. It might be in the schools. It might be in your spiritual center. It might be in your community. It might be in your home. You will know if you sit in that quiet meditation and ask Spirit to guide you. What is mine to do in this space of bringing peace out into the world? You know, Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." You will be recognized as the part of God that you are, working on behalf of Spirit. And if you want peace, Thich Nhat Hanh says, if we want peace, we need to be peace. Peace is a practice. Peace is a practice, not a hope. So what I want to sort of just end with is that at times we have to let go of different ideas and beliefs that we've held on from the past in order to move forward, in order to have peace in our lives, in order to raise the vibrations. We can't hold on to the limiting belief that this is not something that's possible. We create this world, we co-create this world that we live in with one another and with the divine creator. And we can create that utopic space where everyone lives in peace and in love and in harmony. Don't be fooled by appearances. Hold tight to the vision of peace. Hold tight to the feeling of peace. Move that peace within yourself and let it radiate out. As we begin with that space right here and right now, and as it radiates outward, this is the beginning, the steps of bringing that vision into a reality, that vision of bringing peace into pieces. So as we raise our own consciousness, as we learn, it's not something we're taught in schools really about the pacifist, about the people who work for peace. You know, we don't know the name of the young boy who in the 1980s, famous shot of the tanks rolling into Tiananmen Square and one young man just standing there in front of the tank. No weapons, nothing, just saying, peace. What is this? So the question we asked ourselves is, what do I need to do to have more peace in my own life? What do I have to do to have more peace in my immediate surroundings? What do I have to do to have and cultivate peace in my community, in my city, in my neighborhood? Is it a new spiritual practice? Sure. Can we treat peace as a spiritual practice? Can we practice peace and compassion with every step and every breath? Can we release or let go of some situation or circumstance that no longer serves our higher good? Can we release a limiting belief? Can we know deeply that peace is possible, that peace for everyone is possible? So, if you're on a bumpy road with this journey around peace, peacefulness, then there are practitioners. Practitioners can help you see the peace in the world, can help you see the peace in your life, can help you get to that peace through prayer, through holding that vision with you and for you. So my big thing is just ask, what is mine to do? Ask, sit back, and listen. And know without a doubt that there are many examples in many areas where you can make a difference. The first difference is in your own consciousness, and then let that consciousness radiate outward. And this peace will come into absolute world and the earth right now. So I just want to end with a quote from Ernest Holmes, his essay that world peace is not an illusion. He says, we must practice the presence of peace consciously, definitely, and deliberately. If we can do it individually and in the family and to a certain degree in our offices and businesses, which we can, then why can't we do it for the whole world? We can. Ernest Holmes says, we can. So let that be our inspiration, and let that be our powerful intention today and every day. Let's take this message into prayer. I know that there is one and only one. There's one energy that is out there that is of peace and love and continual evolvement into higher and higher vibrations. And I radiate that vibration of peace and love and joy. And each person here radiates that vibration of peace and love and joy. And I speak my word that as we come together and as we work individually and as we raise our consciousness to this consciousness of walking daily in peace and love, that the world's vibration is raised and that peace and love becomes the norm. It is the norm upon which each and every person walks on this earth. And I am so grateful and thankful. I am so grateful and thankful for all those peacemakers, all those people who have raised our consciousness around pacifism, around nonviolence, around walking in peace and love and harmony. I'm so grateful and thankful for all of the teachers before, so grateful and thankful for all of the wise words, so grateful and thankful for all of the prayers, so grateful and thankful for this planet continually evolving into this peace and love sphere spinning through the world, spinning through space. I'm so grateful and thankful for it. And I release this word into the law. And together we say, and so it is.